to appear much smaller. Then, directly in front of the camera, they placed a mirror at 45 degrees which reflected a detailed miniature model of the futuristic city into the camera. By cutting out a very precise portion of the mirror, it allowed the camera to see through the mirror to the actors in the distance. The same trick was used for this scene. The massive demon mouth wasn't massive at all. It was actually a much smaller miniature just off to the side of the camera. But when everything lined up perfectly, it looked like the actors were walking straight into its mouth. Just 2 years before this, the film Ben-Hur pulled off a similar trick of turning miniatures into massive sets, but without the use of mirrors. These epic chariot racing scenes required an enormous coliseum filled with crowds, but the studio didn't have the budget or time to build a full-scale set. Instead, they built the bottom half of the set for real and faked the rest with miniature sets hanging in front of the camera. By placing them close to the camera, these miniatures became enormous movie sets, matching the scale of the real set perfectly. The miniatures even had fake audience members that could be mechanically moved up and down to simulate a cheering crowd. To pull all these tricks off, the filmmakers had to make the most out of the tools that were available. Nowadays, things are done very differently, with digital effects and AI looked at were about adding more things into the scene. But what if you wanted to make something disappear? That's exactly the kind of trick that was mastered in the 1933 film The Invisible Man. The main character drinks a potion that makes him invisible, and he ends up going on a rampage while the police try to track him down. Throughout the film, multiple exposures were used to make the man invisible, but it's this shot of the man running through the snow that we're going to look at. In order to pull this off, a fake wooden floor was created, and footprint-shaped holes were cut into the wood. The floor was covered in powdered snow, and one by one, the wooden cutouts were released, causing the snow to fall and make footprints in the ground. This blew people away in 1933, and the invisibility effect looked incredibly realistic. But what about scenes that aren't meant to look realistic at all, like these scenes from Kubrick's 2001? These shots were so abstract that they couldn't be achieved by simply pointing the camera at something. In order to pull it off, the visual effects supervisor had to get inventive. He placed the camera on rails and pointed it towards a black screen with a thin slit in the middle. Behind the screen was a super long piece of artwork that was backlit by bright lights. The camera was tilted slightly off-center so that when it moved forward, the slit would travel from the middle of the frame to the edge of the frame. By keeping the shutter open for the whole duration of the move, it created a streak of light across the frame, just like when you take a long exposure image of a car at night. As the camera moved forward, the colorful background would